Hello, it is the last Monday of the month, and that means it's time for Rewriting Reality. I am your host, Shiraz, and this month we have a really cool guest that I've been on events and summits with. And here's the thing: I made the big interviewer faux pas is I forgot to ask how to properly pronounce his last name, but I'm gonna go with it. Mostafa Hosseini is the founder of Persio Inc. and the creator of Simple Retention Formula, Simple Marketing Formula, Simple Offer Formula. I'm seeing a theme here and much more. So for the past 12 years, he's helped business owners and entrepreneurs build profitable businesses in various niche markets and industries. If you're American, that's various niche markets and industries. That just sounds when I say it. I got to go with niche. I'm sorry about that. Currently, his call center helps established businesses fix their follow-up problem and scale through referrals and customer retention without spending any money on ads. All right. So he is an avid skier and hiker and loves to spend time with his family and friends. We're going to bring him up to the stage now. Here is Mostafa. How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to our conversation.
Yeah, so am I. I always look forward to guests because there's a lot of coaches that do similar work to what I do, and it's fun to exchange with them. But when people do something completely different, it's a whole different experience. I get a whole bunch of new information, and so I'm looking forward to this whole thing on follow-ups because okay, I got to admit, my follow-up game has gotten better, but it's nowhere near where it should be. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say and how things can help. And I just love that everything you've created, simple this, simple this, simple this. It's what people are looking for.
Absolutely. I like to keep everything simple.
All right. So you, I assume, were not born and suddenly doing this business right from the start. What happened in your life to get this to be the thing you want to do?
Hmm. Um, where do I start? I went to school for engineering for a few couple of years. Didn't like it, and I dropped out and got into business school. So I did marketing, and then I got a marketing diploma, and then I got a business management degree with a minor in marketing. And then I started a marketing agency, and we did digital marketing, where we did A to Z digital marketing for our clients from 2010 to 2018. And so 2017, I read The 80/20 Principle by Richard Koch, and it kind of changed the way I think and how I do things, which led me to drop our agency services a short while after, almost overnight, actually. And then I just kept the coaching and consulting aspect of my business. So the stuff that I learned are a combination of what I've learned over the years in business, in school, and everything that I talk about or teach in all the simple courses or simple book series that I work on. Um, they're all a result of everything that we've done and experienced with. So later on, after I dropped the agency, I started teaching simple marketing formula, where I worked with people and taught them how to create a simple marketing strategy, the essentials of marketing, and I started teaching the essentials of everything that actually worked for us. Anything from um, goal setting to the offer to the niche market and to the lead gen, lead conversion, and customer retention.
Okay.
And so over the years, customer retention has been my favorite activity because of the fact that it gave us the highest conversions, highest profits, and as we have all heard, fortune is in the follow up. And that's how I ended up in the follow up business.
Nice. And okay, but you said I help people. You don't help all people. You must have a niche that you're serving or a certain group of people that you specialize in.
For sure. So we work with established service-based businesses that do high six figures or seven figures, and these guys have a proven high ticket offer north of $5,000 or more, and they usually have a list of prospects and customers that are being ignored, and the list is sitting there collecting dust. So We work with a lot of coaches and consultants and some other service-based businesses.
When you start working with a new business, scale of 1 to 10, how good are they typically on their follow-up?
Probably 0 to 1.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I was expecting like 3.
Well,
Okay.
most people don't do any follow-ups. It's like a lot of people don't follow up at all. So the stats are about 48% of salespeople or entrepreneurs never follow up a second time.
Wow.
That's almost 50% of business owners.
Jeez. Okay. That seems okay.
It's a big
It just
problem.
seems crazy to me because like that's where your money's coming from, and less than half the people are doing it.
Absolutely. Like most people that do something for follow up or retention is they send one monthly email, maybe
Yeah.
that, and they consider that retention, and which is good. That's a minimum you should do, but there's more into it.
Okay. So I am sending more stuff to my clients. I don't know if I'm sending it the right way, but I am sending it more than once a month. So what would you recommend I do as far as this follow-up practice?
What are you doing right now?
So for follow-ups right now, I've got a mailing list. I've got a sequence of emails that they go through so that I can get to know them. There's quizzes so they can see where they're hurting and where they're strong in their business. So I can say, look, this is where you're hurting. We can work on that. But I'm also each week I send out uh, there's an intention email that goes out every Sunday night. This is the intention I want you to set. So it's like giving them an exercise to do to help improve their business. There is a Wednesday wisdom email that goes out that has me working, like it's a 5 to 10 minute video of me working on someone with a specific problem so they can see the work, they can see the change they get from working with me, but they also can just take that content from that video and apply it to their lives. And then on Friday is the Friday feel good video, which like just something to make you feel good and inspire you each week. So, for me, it's also to get you to keep opening the emails because I get to feel good on Friday. I'm going to open that damn email. But right after the email is usually here's something you can do with me if you so choose, and that's basically my follow up routine.
Love it. And how are these working out for you so far?
So I'm getting about a 40% open rate on the emails, and about I think a 5% click through on that. I am, but I find it is a slow process. Like people that have come into my programs, I've heard a few of them say, "I've been on your email list for 2 years now," and then finally I've decided to pull the trigger.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
For 2 years. What do you figure is working right now?
What I feel is working. Oof. I think that engagement, the fact that you're getting content each week is working right now. The thing I don't know or may not be working out is I do a lot of events, and when I do the events, I've got to promote the events as well as just being in the events because we want people to come. But and I think this might be a problem for a lot of people out there. There's so many events now. People seem to have this event burnout. So when I say here's an event, I get a very, very low response to the event. And it used to be much higher, like 2 years ago. But I think during COVID, everyone's just like, I'm done. I'm done with the events.
For sure. For sure. What would you say is the biggest follow-up challenge?
For me, I think what I'm not doing correctly is I'm not really getting people to acknowledge that there's a problem. I think they say, things are, I'm having some issues, but I don't think I'm having issues enough that I need to get that help. And I don't think I know I've got that formula right for saying, listen, this will get you the help. So you like let's have a conversation. Let's talk about this.
Love it. So, what would the solution look like for you? What do you want it to look like?
What would I want the solution? As a result of the emails going out, I'd like to see more people booking appointments.
Or people booking appointments?
Yeah.
And then does your system show you if and when people register or click on certain
Yes. Yes.
topics and whatnot, and you could segment them based on their interest?
I could. I don't know how, but it is in the system. So
What do you use for your, say, CRM or email system?
I'm using a system called In Charge.
In Charge.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, it's
Fantastic.
very
All right.
similar to.
So here's the good news.
Mhm.
You're probably part of the 1% club of business owners that are actually doing a decent job with follow-ups, like the weekly emails, Wednesday this, Feel Good Friday, and you're actually engaging your list pretty well.
Okay.
And which is a great job. I don't see a lot of people actually doing this, business owners. And so
Okay. Okay. Before you give me some more, okay, I need to know this because I know the audience needs to know this. I feel like I'm not doing enough because I'm giving this content. But so first of all, is 40% open rate good?
it's beyond good.
So what do most
Optimal.
people get?
5 to 10.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm feeling good now.
So
Right.
yeah, for sure. So your list is very engaged,
Okay.
and the 40% opening rate is great, and the click-through rate could probably be improved.
Mhm.
But working based on like, looks like a lot of people are actually opening your emails, but the call to action of what to do to book the appointment and to reach out for help looks like, based on the numbers, there could be some improvements there.
Okay.
And a couple of things that could be worked on is, one, the copy itself, like
Mhm.
improving the actual sales copy or the copy in the body of the newsletter, whether it's sales copy or not. The second piece is actually the offer,
Yeah.
right? Here's what you're going to get by talking to me. And so what is your call to action usually in your newsletters? What does that look
So,
like?
I mean, there's various calls to action because sometimes it's I've got this event coming up and I talk about how great the event's going to be. Click to join the event, or I'm going to be at a summit, and then every now and then I just say, look, if you're having difficulty, click to schedule a one-on-one appointment with me and let's talk about it.
Okay. Is that the actual content? Is that the actual copy?
No, it's a little more elaborate than that.
Okay. So you do elaborate more as to, if you have this specific issue, call me, or
Okay, so no, I'm more general, like if you're feeling stuck. But okay, so now okay, I get where you're going. So instead of the general ones, go this week if you've got this specific issue. This week,
exactly.
okay, okay, good. I am learning.
So if you're sharing a video about marriage problems,
Yeah.
which is a huge issue,
Mhm.
obviously, and if you say after that, the call to action is, you're feeling stuck, call me. Do you see the disconnect there?
Yes, yes, definitely.
But if I say, what's a specific marriage problem? Look, here's a specific marriage problem. If you haven't had sex with your partner for the past few weeks or few months, reach out to me and we'll chat about it. That's a specific problem. And I could be like, oh, hell yeah, I haven't had sex for like this long, right?
Okay.
Look, what are some examples of topics that you have shared in the past 2 or 3 weeks that?
Uh, Not having enough money. Uh,
Yep.
Hold, you know what? I'm gonna go right there right now.
So, for example, you could say, if your bank account is looking like this,
Mhm.
call me up and we could talk about that,
Okay.
right? What specific money issue, like what exactly is the issue that you were talking about in that video, that when they watch it, you could be like, if you have this issue, call me up. It looks like you're reaching out enough and so often that each time you could have a very specific issue. Or here are actually could be top 2 or 3 challenges, pain points, or issues that maybe were mentioned in the video. Be like, if you're experiencing this, or this,
Yep.
let's talk.
Okay. So I just like because now okay, you just really organized my brain here because one of the things I've just been doing, and on my Wednesday wisdoms, if people are on my mailing list, this. I'll put the wisdom part there. You get the video, you get the insights, but then I just say, here's something coming up this week, and it's not specific to the video. It's always just because it's about to come up. I'm trying to remind people, but I've got them engaged with the video. But I've got to put that connection. Okay, here's the video. If you've got this problem, call me, and I can talk about what's coming up this week in a different email entirely, because I'm wasting that video. I'm wasting the content of that video.
Absolutely. And you could say, in the upcoming video, I'm going to talk about these challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the issues. Here's how people feel stuck, and this is what it looks like. And then if you have, or if you know someone, here's probably the next level, getting a referral and introduction, is who do you know that is having these issues and these problems? That's another question you can add at the bottom of your call to action. Mm. And you could probably even test this. Instead of saying, if you have this issue, call me, you could try this. Who do you know that is having this issue? Who is having bank account issues or whatnot? And then that could include me. That's the beauty of that question. I'd be like, hey, I have that problem, or I know Joe that has that problem. Okay. Right?
So would you recommend me talking about them at the beginning, showing the video, and then who else do you know? Or would you recommend me doing an A/B test at the end with, do you have the problem? Do you know someone has the problem? And
I would split test and see which one works best.
Okay.
Right? And then like 50% of the list say, if you have this specific problem, book your call now. Another 50% would be, who do you know that is having this specific challenge? And I would elaborate on the challenge, or these 2 or 3 challenges. If you know someone, I would greatly appreciate an introduction.
Okay.
Right. So.
Cool. Okay.
So can I take this to the next level for you to?
Please take me to the next level. I'm enjoying this.
So it seems like everything is digital, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
It's mostly through email.
Yes.
Now, what we would do is we would add a human interaction in there, such as a phone call. Mm-hmm. So let's say that you have sent out an email that talked about money issues. Okay. And in there was a call to action, and 5% of people actually clicked on it. What I would do is the following week, I would call them up. Given I have their numbers, I would call them up and say, hey, it's me. How is it going? Did I catch you at a bad time? No, what's up, Mostafa? Like, the reason I'm calling is our system shows that you were interested in this topic with this challenge. Does that ring a bell? Does that resonate? If they do, they would say, yeah, I'm actually working on that challenge, right? Or if they say, no, I was just clicking around, no problem. Now, let's go to the first scenario where they say, yes, it is a challenge. Mm-hmm. Then I would just qualify and verify the challenge. Is this challenge something that you're working on fixing right now? Mm-hmm. Right? They may say yay or nay. How is this affecting you? Right? And when do you want to fix this problem? Do you want to fix this now? Is this a pressing issue? Or are you thinking of whenever? And they will tell you. We're just like gauging and qualifying the person. And then if they say, yeah, I actually want to work on it right now, it's actually a big problem, they would say, hey, would you be opposed to a quick conversation so we could go over how this is affecting you and what we could do to fix it? So yeah, I'm working on booking an appointment, mm-hmm. right? To a qualified person that has interacted with the content and has shown interest, that's a warm lead, right? Yeah. Then I would work on booking a call with those people and having a conversation with them. Right now, if they say, no, I was just clicking around, I was just checking things out, we're like, no problem, I totally understand. Mm-hmm. Who do you know that is having this specific issue? Okay. Always asking for a referral, right? Either via email or on the conversations. We always ask for a referral, because the thing is, the person in front of me, if they're a qualified customer and we're helping them, great. Then we ask, who else do you know that's having the same issue that we should talk to? Right. And they may know one person, they may know 1,000 people, but we wouldn't know it. We wouldn't probably get that introduction if we don't systematically ask for it. Okay. Does that work?
That I get that. So there's 2 things that come up for me with that one. And one, I mean, first of all, I think I can get over this one and make the calls, but I know a lot of people have this problem. Is if I call them, I don't want to come off as a pushy salesperson or a telemarketer. Or so, what do you say to that?
I get that every single day.
Okay.
And here's the thing: if you don't want to be pushy, don't be pushy.
Mhm.
There's a fine line between being pushy and being nice. So we do a very friendly and nurturing approach.
Mhm.
I'm calling in, hey, is this a bad time to chat? No, it's not a bad time. All right. If they say, yeah, it's a bad time, I'm like, all right, no problem. Would it be all right if I call you later? If they say yes, great, I'll follow up later. If they say no, never call me, take me off of your list, like perfect. I'm gonna eliminate this person from my list because they are clearly not interested in hearing from me. Boom, that's cleaning up, and then your open rate goes up because this
Mhm.
person is not qualified. They don't want to receive calls from you.
Okay.
And so we don't want to be pushy because, and we're not being pushy because I just went through the qualification question. Like,
Yes.
is this a problem? Yes. Do you want to work on it? Yes. When do you want to do it? Now or later? Based on their response, we will just, you know, act accordingly based on what they say. So I'm not calling them up saying, "Hey, looks like you have clicked on this, and if you don't talk to me, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Your world is gonna go upside down." That's the kind of sleek, sleazy, pushy type of approach we don't want to do.
Mhm.
But when you have a very friendly approach, it's not bothering them. And here's another piece to that. If let's say Shiraz, you have a money problem, and imagine and assume that I can help you fix that money problem.
Mhm.
Am I bothering you by not following up and by not fixing that problem?
No. Well, you're bothering me because I want you to follow up and
Yeah.
fix the problem.
Yeah. So I'm
So,
bothering you by not actually fixing that problem.
yeah.
I'm hurting you if we don't fix that problem. And
Yeah.
that's my follow-up philosophy.
Okay.
My follow-up philosophy is that if I don't follow up with you to fix that problem that I know is creating pain and frustration and all sorts of issues for you, I'm actually hurting you
Mhm.
by not following up. I'm actually bothering you and your family and everyone around you by sitting back and acting like I am bothering you while. And then here's the other piece. You
Mhm.
ready for this?
Yep.
Most of the time, when you call people and follow up on a challenge that we know they have, they would actually say, Mostafa, thank you for calling me. Thank you for thinking of me.
Uh,
And then another piece, even if we do it consistently and they keep ignoring us and we keep consistently and persistently and nicely follow up, a lot of times they're like, thank you for putting up with me and thank you for actually following up with me because if you didn't do it, one, we wouldn't fix this problem, right? And then I would be continuing having this issue. So the long answer to your short question is you're not bothering them and you're not being pushy unless you are doing it in a pushy way.
yeah.
But if you're doing it in a nice, friendly way, you'll be okay.
I remember Bob Proctor told me a story about how he was trying to get this big client, and he called him every Monday and chatted with them and said, "Well, are you interested?" And every Monday, the guy's like, "No, still not interested, Bob." But he keep calling, and they just have these pleasant conversations. At the end of the conversation, like, "Are you interested?" He's like, "No, I'm still not interested." But he was enjoying the conversations with Bob, and every week for over a year, he called this guy, and then Bob got sick, and he couldn't come into work, and the guy didn't have his weekly call with Bob, so he called Bob's firm asking where the hell Bob was. And when Bob got better, he bought the the product from Bob.
That is awesome. That is amazing. 99.9% of business owners do nothing close to that.
Mhm.
Like we talked about earlier, is like 50% don't even follow up once, never mind an entire year every Monday.
Yeah.
Right. And here's another stat for those of you guys who love stats. I learned this from Jeff Walker, and he said 80% of the transactions happen within 18 months of the first point of contact.
18 months.
18 months. And we get that quite often. I'm sure you've seen this, Shiraz. When you talk to someone, they say, I'm not ready right now. Call me back next month or in 3 months or 6 months.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
And then again, most people never follow up 3 to 6 months or 12 months. And Maybe I'm talking to you and you're like, Mostafa, I don't want to work on my follow-up problem right now. Call me in 6 months. And if I don't follow up with you in 6 months, you're still going to have that follow-up problem. And maybe you're in a position to get us to do it. But because I didn't follow up, I'm going to lose that opportunity and the prospect. And then people spend a ton of time and money to find prospects only to bring them in and then start ignoring them all the time. So, yeah. So going back to what we were working on, you could probably pick up the phone and make a round of calls to your entire list. And then have your CRM in front of you, and based on that, you could probably, even if your CRM allows it, segment them based on what they clicked on and tag them. Right. And so the 40% of people that open the email and then click through, you could tag them with, here's what we do in our system. In our system, it allows us to tag them when they click on that click-through rate, whatever the link, the call to action is. It would say interested in speaking, interested in money, interested in management, interested in whatever the topic of the email is about. Then later on, I could call them up and do two things. One, follow up with it. Two, we could send them a related offer and topic if I'm promoting someone else. Like I could select all the people that are interested in speaking and send them a speaking related offer.
So my second question on this is, we are very much in a world where people prefer to get texted than called, especially the younger and younger generations. They want text, they don't want phone calls. So what's your stance on that?
So I think that could be a myth. Now, I think there's a split there. Some people want to get a list, text. Some people want to get an email. Some people get absolutely delighted when they get a call. It depends on the personality, right? And because we live in a world where everything is digital and the human interaction and the human touch is missing, adding that human touch actually does take you to a whole new level because nobody else is doing it. Right. And if it's not a salesy, pushy type of call, I don't remember last time someone was mad at me. Actually, I had a call. Sometimes I get on the calls myself. I make phone calls for our clients because I want to be in the front line and get the experience. Someone picked up the phone and says, "Who the F is this?" They did. Or they say, "What the F do you want?" And I'm like, "I'm sorry, my name is Mo, and I'm calling in so-and-so's behalf. Did I catch you at a bad time?" And they're like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But then we had a very good conversation right after that. Right. I mean, as long as you're nice and respectful and you're going back to intention, once you set your intention properly with your calls and with the follow-ups, if the intention is to help and provide value and to help them fix that problem, I've never had a negative reaction. And let's say that they do have a negative reaction. It's maybe because they're having a bad day. Maybe they're in a place where they don't want that right now, but that doesn't mean that they don't want it forever. Maybe they're not. Maybe I just had an argument with my partner or with my wife or with whoever, and I'm just not feeling good today. And then here's the other piece that we get when we call them up after a week later and say, "Hey, it's me. Is now a good time to chat?" They're like, "I'm really sorry. Last time you called me, I was not feeling good." But let's continue where we left off. So I haven't seen a bad reaction to the personal touch, but it depends on the personality. And if like the other piece is if they don't want answering the phone, they just want to answer the phone. You got nothing to worry about. And sometimes people say, "Just text me." They text back and say, "Text me." We're like, "All right, no problem. We'll text you."
Yeah, because I know me personally, if I don't know the number, I just let it go to voicemail. I never answer it.
That's fair. We get that a lot.
Okay.
And then when we leave a voicemail or email them or text them, say, "Hey, it's me. Here's what I was calling about." Next time that I call, it's a lot more likely they would answer the phone. Or if they don't want it, they would just ignore the number, which I'm okay with.
Okay. So So here's the question. It sounds like just doing these follow-ups is the easiest way to get customers. Is that what you'd say, or is there an easier way that you know of to get customers?
So I've been in the marketing world for 15 years, and this has been by far, bar none, the easiest way to get customers and referrals and upsells. So the stories that in my agency days, and actually anytime I ran out of customers, cash, leads, or whatnot,
Mhm.
what I did is I was worried about it for a few days, and then I would pick up the phone and make a round of calls to my list of prospects and customers. And on
Okay.
the day of or shortly after, I would get cash from upsells, appointments, referrals, introductions, either the day of or a few days after.
Wow.
The fastest, most profitable, surefire way to grow your business is to stay in touch with your list and get referrals and upsells and the rest of it.
Okay. Now, is there a secret formula for referrals?
So the secret formula is ask for it
Yep.
nicely. And let me share with you when you should ask for it.
Okay.
There's two times where you could ask for it. Here's the secret formula. One, when they sign up for your service, they just made a purchase decision, they bought and paid for your product. That's the time, that's the first time, first place to ask for who else do you know that may be having this issue that we can help, right?
Mm.
And because they just went through the process of making the purchase, they'll be like, oh yeah, you know what? Shiraz should be with me on this workshop. Or Shiraz also probably needs this product. Okay.
Mhm.
The second best place to ask for referrals is as soon as you deliver a result
Yep.
to your customer. Maybe we just had a massive breakthrough. Maybe you just delivered something big or small. And then the other place where people miss it is this result wasn't big enough. I'm waiting to revolutionize their world. Like you don't need to do that. So as soon as you deliver a result, that's and the second best time to ask for a referral. Hey, Shiraz, by the way, who else do you know that maybe is having issues with their follow-ups that we could help them fix just like we did for you? And be like, you know what? Maybe you're gonna say your yay or nay, and then I'm gonna get. So those are the best places to ask for a referral.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you've been giving a lot of great advice, and I have to now implement changes. This is the one thing I love about the way I do my show is I get all this great information. The thing I hate about it is like, oh, I got to go do some work now, right? So, but
Absolutely.
when you're working with people one on one, how do you specifically help them to change their business?
So what we do is we have a 3-step process.
Mhm.
One is we do an assessment on their entire funnel, their offer, and their CRM and figure out what they have going on. Because for us to pick up the phone and call for them and do their follow-ups, which is our business, we that's what we have to do first to understand. Then we work on developing the scripts for the campaign that we're going to call for.
Mhm.
As soon as the customer approves the scripts, we pick up the phone and start making calls.
Okay. And when we talk about the CRM, I know a bunch of people just don't have CRMs. They're not at that stage.
Mhm.
And others do. And I know mine could be better. I'm thinking of switching to a new one. Are there like a top 3 or top 5 CRMs that you think people should work with that work that are flexible enough or cost efficient and get the best results?
It really depends on what stage of business you're in.
Mhm.
It is best for you to create a list of all the prospects and all the customers you do work with, because your list is one of your most important assets in business.
Mhm.
I personally work with Infusionsoft, but I know people that work with Active Campaign, Entreport, High Rise or High Level is probably another one I
Okay.
see a lot of people working with. There are a lot of good ones out there. You just go to check it out and see which one you're
Yeah,
comfortable with.
I was thinking of switching over to Keep, which is Infusionsoft.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Keep is one of the more capable ones. We use Keep as well,
Okay.
and I actually have a customer that specializes in Keep. So if anyone wanted an introduction to a good Keep tech person,
Mhm.
I just got the right person for you.
And I love this because you're not only talking about asking for the referrals, you're also like now giving the referrals for the guy that you know. So
Sure.
it's,
So
yes.
that's another thing you could do actually for your list as well, which is what we do as well. Like I talk to you and you're like, "Oh, I don't want your service right now." And then
Mhm.
one of the questions I would ask is, "What's the biggest challenge for you? What are you working on right now?" Which we actually did the other day. This person was like, "I'm actually working on my talk and my speech."
Mhm.
And so we reached out to our customer. We're like, "Who do you know that's a good speaking coach? Because someone on your list needs a speaking coach." Right. So
Yeah.
we make a referral into introduction. Now the speaking coach would get a referral from us,
Yeah.
and they may, it's not 100% guaranteed, they may start referring back to us,
Mhm.
people that need what we do. So that's another way we provide value to our people.
Okay.
I've never had anybody complain about that, by the way.
Yeah. Most people don't complain when you send them business. So,
For sure. For sure. For sure.
all right. Cool. Okay. I mean, this time it's flown. We're already almost at 40 past, and I need to coach you.
For
Before
sure.
I do you have any? We're gonna at the end. We're gonna say, tell people how to get in contact with you. Do you have any words of wisdom before I start coaching you? Anything we
I
haven't
would
talked
say
about? Or you
just
want
stay
me
in
to hit?
touch with your list. You probably have a list that is sitting there collecting dust, and you're probably
Mhm.
not doing enough with it. And start working with your list and get more business, get referrals, get recurring revenue, and the rest of it.
Okay. And if their list is just a spreadsheet, is that still okay? Just nurture that.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So for us, they need to have their list needs to be about 1,000 or 2,000 people at a minimum. So
Mhm.
we can put one of our agents on the list and start working and nurturing the list. But start there. I mean, that's a good place to start.
Okay.
I mean, at any level, you got to have a list.
Yeah, because I know there's a whole bunch of different personality types, and some people are like, I don't want to do this until I'm on the right CRM. Or I don't want to do this until I'm at 6,000 because that feels like it's enough. But you're just saying if you've got a list and it's about 1,000, you're okay to start working with them right then.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna switch it over now. And I've gotten some great value out of Mustafa. I want to give you a bunch of great value as well.
Fantastic.
So this is how my process works. We're going to have a conversation about an area in your life that either you've been stuck in for a while, or you have a recurring problem, like every time I do this, this happens, or this has been the story of my life, or I can never get past this point in business, or whatever it is. And it could be business or personal, it doesn't matter. And when I talk to you, I can tell when your conscious beliefs match your unconscious beliefs.
Okay.
Right. So basically, I can tell when you're lying to yourself. I don't care if you're lying to me. I care if you're lying to you.
Okay.
So things that have happened in the past is people say, Shiraz, I'd like to make a lot more money. And I'll say, nope, you don't. That's not coming up true. So
Okay.
let's find out why you don't want to make money.
Yeah.
And there's all these reasons that can come up. And a common one is if I make a lot of money, I know there's going to be all these people saying, Mustafa, could I have some? Can you invest in my project? Can again? And you're like, I don't want to have those conversations. So your brain says, well, if you don't have those conversations, we just make sure we don't make so much money that people come up and start doing that. Problem is solved. But consciously, you're like, why can't I get past this barrier? But that's the barrier is where your subconscious has said that's as much money as we can make without having to deal with those people we don't want to deal with, right? Or if you lost a lot of money in the past and you're still carrying some shame from that, your subconscious is like, we have to make sure we don't make that much money again because we make that much money and we lose it. We're going to feel that shame again. So we're only going to make this much money, right? But it could be with relationships, it could be with health, it could be with the people you interact with. You keep ending up with the clients that you don't like or something like that. There's always a reason behind that you're not seeing.
Hmm.
So once we get to that lie, we're going to dig down, find out what that reason is. And all those reasons are just stories that are running in your subconscious.
Yeah.
And every story can be changed and every story can just be dumped. So when we get to the story, I'm going to ask, are you willing to step out of that story? If you say yes and you mean it, and you have to mean it, and again, I'll be able to tell if you mean it, then it actually shifts that story. Physically, what we're just done is we're starting to rewire neurons in your brain that say this is the story, it's real, it's true, and it's affecting my life. And we're changing that up. But what's happening is that whenever there's a shift like that, there's an energetic shift, and that's the thing where I work. with energetic shifts, when people I'm working with have it, I tend to yawn and cough. So expect that for the next 15 minutes. For you, if you've worked with energy, you know what it feels like. If you haven't, then common things are yawning, feeling of tingles or energy in your chest, and getting a little bit lighter because you actually feels like you're releasing something. You may feel a tingle in your head because you're actually rewiring neurons, and some people can feel that, not like a physical, but sort of a sensation. Ooh, there's something like a little lightheadedness or a tingling or a dizziness or something going on there. If it's something really big and or deep that you've been holding in for a while, you may cry, you may feel nausea, right? And we don't usually get to that in the short space on this call, but when I do bigger workshops, we'll get really deep to some people. And they're like, "Oh my God, all this stuff from my childhood is now coming out," and and you may not feel anything, but if I'm coughing and yawning, then this stuff's going on,
Okay.
and we'll pick a topic and we'll go for a little while, and we'll see how you feel afterwards.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you like to work on?
So here's the issue that I've actually been working on and actively, and that is I reach a certain point with money,
Mhm.
and then I don't go past that.
Okay,
And then I come back to a near zero.
okay,
And then I'm like, how the hell did I manage to get there?
mhm,
Like to go from, let's say, so much a month, going back to zero. And then I'm like, all right, this is really painful. Why the hell is this happening? And I probably do something. And then, so seems like when I get to a certain level, I manage to do something or think in a certain way to go right back down. Right.
okay.
And what else? That seems to be something that I've actually been working on actually last week, and I was actually working on it today.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, there's some stuff good. So the first thing that's coming up, are you supposed to be, ooh, I can even feel it shifting. Are you supposed to be making that much money?
So here's another piece. So I set up an ambitious goal for myself.
Yep.
So here's how much I want, but I don't seem to be chasing that.
Yeah.
There is a disconnect, and I was trying to figure out what is the disconnect.
Okay. Are you supposed to struggle?
No.
Okay. So that's not coming up true.
Okay. Let's explore that.
Okay. So, and if you have a belief that you're supposed to struggle and you get to a point where you're going to make so much money that the struggle is going to go away, you'll find a way to get rid of that money so you can stay and struggle. So I want you to think, in your life, has anyone taught you that life is a struggle or you don't deserve something if you don't struggle to get it?
Do I learn from someone that life is a struggle? And what was the second part?
You don't deserve something unless you struggle to get it.
My dad comes up
Okay.
because my dad has worked hard all his life. He still does.
Okay.
I don't know if he has taught me that if you don't struggle, you're not going to get it.
And he doesn't have to have said it, but if he lives it, you learn it.
Yeah, that is definitely the case.
Okay. So you're living in your father's story that you have to struggle to earn something. Right. And again, this is his story. It's not yours. It's just what you've been brought up with. So it feels normal and natural. And whenever you get to a point where you're able to start to get out of the struggle, that goes against everything you've been taught and you'll reject it.
But I am against it consciously.
Consciously, you're against it. Yes.
Yes,
But the unconscious programming that's been there your entire life, thanks to your dad, is overriding the conscious programming.
maybe. Yes.
Okay. So this is where we get to flip the switch on it. Are you willing to step out of your father's story that you have to struggle to deserve everything you have in life?
Am I willing? Can you say that question one more time?
Are you willing, are you willing to step out of your father's story that you have to struggle to deserve everything you have in life?
I don't know.
So this is a decision on your part. Are you, if it's basically, if you make that decision, yes, I'm willing to get out of that story, then it's going to shift. If you don't know, okay, so are you dishonoring your dad if you earn money easily while he's working hard to get it?
I would probably make him feel stupid.
Okay.
That's probably
All right. And that's huge because number one, you're saying I'll make him feel stupid, but you won't. You'll just be earning money easier and he'll make a decision as though whether he's going to feel stupid or not. Because I know you wouldn't go, hey, dad, you're so stupid for working hard. Like it'll just be his decision to go, oh my God, my son's getting it so easy and I'm working hard. If you're worried about making your dad feel stupid, you'll make sure you work just as hard as he does so that he
what
doesn't.
was say that one more time, please?
If you're worried about making, this is really starting to shift it. If you're worried about making your dad feel stupid by working easily while he's working hard, you'll make sure you work hard. So, and this is interesting because it's coming from a place of caring for your father, but you're using it to create unnecessary struggle and limited wealth in your own life.
So here's the other piece.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for me about struggling. It has something to do with a lack of money or having a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do I want to struggle? No.
Okay, so that again, that's not coming up true. Part of you wants to struggle.
There's something in here that I'm trying to express. And maybe
Yep.
I'm not quite there yet. There yet to articulate it.
Okay.
It's because I worry about things, but I'm kind of relaxed about it.
Okay.
Like, do I actually put myself in hardship? I do not. So so let me rephrase. Maybe this will do it. It's a money struggle.
Yes. Yeah, it's still a struggle.
Okay. I
Okay.
just want to articulate better to myself and maybe to you
Okay.
that it's the kind of struggle that I'm trying to articulate.
Yeah. Okay. So, what would happen if there was no money struggle in your life?
What would happen if there was no money struggle in my life? What would happen if there was no money struggle in my life? I would feel much better. I'll be happier with myself.
Good.
I would teach my kids about that so they could carry that on and learn that from me and not learn the wrong things. I'll be more comfortable.
Okay.
My brain would open up to more possibilities of
Yep.
doing things. What would
How would
happen?
your current relationships change with your, well, we talked about your kids, but with the people you work with your dad, with, yeah. So the people that are close to you that have known you to be in that space you've been in, that have seen you with that money struggle, if you're suddenly out of it, how are those relationships going to change? And just
Definitely better with my dad.
so this is now here's the thing: is it going to be better with your dad, or do you feel you'll make him look stupid if you make money easily and just have lots of it?
I think the relationship would actually be better because I actually owe him money.
Okay.
So I would pay him off
Yep.
and it would be a better relationship.
Okay.
That would be added away. What was the other question that you asked me?
So and this is good because that's aligning, but the part we have to go back to what you talked about is that worry that you might make him feel stupid. If your life is easy and you don't have no money worries, are you worried about how your dad's going to feel about that?
No,
Okay, so that's not coming up true.
it's not.
Yeah. So let's see if we
Okay.
can clear that. Are you willing to step out of the story that you have to always be worried about how your dad will react to you making lots of money and with ease?
Am I worried about this. Why am I skipping this? Why am I asking you to repeat these questions? Does that tell you something?
Yeah, because your brain doesn't want to take it in, so it doesn't have to change the situation.
Yeah, because so here's my experience. I was actually working on this money thing,
Yeah.
and my brain would not give me an answer.
Yeah.
I've been in a block on this over the past few days.
Yeah, and this is it, because it's blocking right now. This is the big issue around the money, and this is actually not uncommon, but it's kind of interesting because it's coming from a place of compassion and caring for other people, but it's causing you to affect your financial world.
Yeah.
And on the surface, it seems like, well, if I don't care how it affects my dad, I'm going to be a bad person. But you can't control how your life affects your dad no matter what. So you might as well have the best possible life and see what happens, rather than keep yourself from having that life to make sure something bad doesn't happen. Right? And that's how most people function, is that in the possibility that something might go bad, if I change that, if I make more money, or my business explodes, in the possibility that it might go bad, I'm just going to stay where I am and just keep the same patterns going. But when you're willing to have those things go wrong, because ultimately it's going to work out, because you're going to have more money, you'll have more money to actually help your dad if you want, you'll have more money to help your family, and everything can get easier. But you might have to go through an argument with him, or he might express, oh, I feel so bad that I have to work so hard, but you're getting it easy. If you're willing to have those conversations, then you break through that barrier. Right? Because right now you're reacting to your possible future, your story of your possible future, not actually what's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay. So are you willing to step out of your story that you have to always be worried about how your dad will react if you start to make lots of money very easily?
So here's what's coming up. I'm not clear on the story to answer that question. I'm not clear on what story is keeping me from that. But
Okay.
the struggle thing
Yep.
is part of it. But to me right now, what I'm feeling is like that's not the actual pain preventing me from.
So the story itself is that simple. It's that I can't make more money in case it upsets my dad or upsets my relationship with my dad.
I feel like that's not the underlying story.
Okay, but if that's there, are you willing to shift it? We can keep going and seeing if there's
Yes.
more.
Yes.
So then, are you willing to
Yes.
step out
Am I
of that
willing? Yes.
story?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So there's definitely some shifting going on. Are you worried about how people in general will see you if you're making lots of money easily?
No.
Okay, so that's not, there's some pushback there, not as much. So you've got all these wonderful things on the other side of making money easily. But I want you to think, first thing that comes to your mind right now, what would be bad? What would be the fallout of you making money, lots of money easily?
Nothing's coming up.
Okay.
What would be bad about me making lots of money easily?
When you look at people that make lots of money and don't seem to work that hard, what's your reaction to them?
I love it.
Okay. Okay, so that's good.
I love that feeling of being in that position
Yep.
and being in that state of with the feeling and the consciousness when they're attracting, and it's just that serenity of
Okay.
feeling where things are coming to you, you're helping people, people are helping you, there's the relationships, there's the communication. And I'd certainly love and cherish the feeling of being in a position to be able to help other people.
Okay, so you just went into a reaction there. Okay, so I think I figured out where it is.
Okay.
If you have that money, do you have to help people?
I don't have to, but I want to.
Okay, so that's not completely true. And I know
Okay.
you do want to, but if part of you thinks, well, if you've got the money, you've got to help people, then there a resistance comes up because you want to be in choice, not in obligation.
To me, it's a choice. I don't feel obligated to.
Yeah,
I want to, and like I say,
and I
I
and I get
love
this.
being in that position,
Yeah,
right?
and I get this, and I get consciously that's where you are. But as soon as you started talking about helping people, your energy dropped. There was a resistant energy coming up about
Okay.
helping people. And like this is the thing, I get this because I went through 20 years of arthritis because I believed I was responsible for all these people in my life. And when I said, you know what, I don't need to be responsible for those people, the arthritis went away overnight. But if someone said, it told me at any point before I was ready to let it go, you just feel you're responsible for everyone, I would have said, no, I don't. I love helping people out. It brings me joy. I don't feel like I have to, but I eventually found out, no, I did. I felt like I have to, and now I don't.
Do I have to help? Like the first thing that
Do
would come up would be my family.
Yeah,
What's coming up right now?
yeah,
Do I have to help my family if I have a lot of money?
mhm,
I think it would be expected.
yeah. So expected is have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people always go into resistance with have to. There's a lot more flow with I get to, I choose to. And I know again, I know that this isn't what's going on consciously, but if it's there unconsciously, and you just said it would be expected, you're going to create resistance to getting there.
Okay.
Okay, so are you
Something is
willing
coming
to?
up.
Yeah, are you willing to step out of the story that if you make lots of money, you are expected to help your family?
Expected to help my family. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, I can feel there's a lot of resistance coming up there.
There's
Okay,
resistance.
and this is the thing because I'm
Here's
I'm
another.
I might feel like a bad person. I might look bad to other people. And that's the fear that comes up. But the reality that's going to come up is like, I don't have to help my family, but here I'm going to because it feels good to do so. But now it's a choice instead of an obligation. And it feels like there's other people that are less fortunate that I know you'd probably want to help. But if you feel you have to because you have lots of money, people with a lot of wealth, if you feel it's an obligation, it's expected that they've got so much they should share it, then that's putting that obligation on yourself as well. And in order to avoid that obligation, you just make sure you never break through that limit that you keep hitting up against so that you never step into that new space. So that obligation exists in the new space, it doesn't exist right where you are.
Okay.
So are you willing to step out of the story that you have to make sure you don't make so much money that you go into that space of obligation of having to help people?
Yes.
Ooh, yeah, there's definitely energy there. And are you willing to step out of the story that if you don't help someone, you should feel guilty about it?
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, how does that feel? The same, better, worse, or different? There's no wrong answer.
I feel like I made progress
Okay.
in uncovering some of the stuff because I was in a block mode. My brain was like literally blocking me from an answer. I was asking questions about this, like, why do I go there and come back?
Mhm.
Why am I okay with being at coming back down and being it down for a while? And why am I not doing anything about it? Like I'm surprising myself. And so we're making some progress here.
Okay, cool. All right. Thank you for playing with me.
Thank you.
So, if our audience wants to know how to get in touch with you, what I have some links I am going to throw into the show notes for later on for anyone who watches it later. But for now, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
So if you go to fixmyfollowupproblem.com, you can get in touch with me. You can book an appointment. You can find me on LinkedIn. Send me a message and mention Shiraz in there, and we'll take good care of you.
Sounds good. All right. Any final words for the audience before we head out?
No, I'm glad we did make some progress here together, and I really enjoyed my work with you. So you working on me? How was the other way?
Oh, it was great. I got so much value out of what you said, and I
Awesome.
know the audience
Likewise.
did too, because that's like that statistic of, was it less than 1% of people follow up? That's crazy.
Yeah. Like the way you do it, though, just to clarify, the way you're like, you have a Wednesday email, Friday email with different topics.
Mhm.
You're definitely in the 1% club with that.
Okay.
For sure.
And yeah, and then less than 50% follow up even once.
Yes, a second time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Got it. All right. Thank you for being on. We'll be back again next month with another guest. And of course, I always forget to just line that up and say who the guest is. We're going to go down Talia Dashow is going to be our guest. You'll see the promos coming up. Until then, have an amazing month. Be well, be aware, and be magical. We'll see you soon.